Okay, KK. What they do, man? It's your boy Purple Lips back with another controversial topic. Now, today we're gonna be reacting to your boy Saint the Sinner again, y'all. Now, the reason why we going ahead and react to him is because he had an interesting take on empowered women. Now, I'm reacting to this video because I personally am tired of us falling for systematic traps, and I believe that the system doesn't want us to have nuclear homes. They don't want us to be together. They actually want to tax us for every dollar and have us in debt for everything. And they don't want us to get it's easier to have us separate than it is to have us together. But we have to remember we are all more alike than we are different. We are better together than we are separate. So we must not let them break us apart. So that's why I thought it was very important to highlight the take that Saint the Sinner had on why empowered women are destructive to nuclear homes. Now, women, I don't want you guys to get so much offended to the fact that he's calling women who are empowered, who don't want to rely on a man, who wants to be work first and career first, as a horrible thing. Just open your minds up just a little bit. Y'all go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Let me know what y'all think about the topic. Let me know if y'all actually agree with what he's saying. If you don't agree with what he's saying, I would like to know what y'all think and go ahead and interact with y'all. I want to know what you guys think, or if you don't agree with him. I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get right into it. You know what I mean? Saint the Sinner on empowered women.
Then he looked at his homeboy and said, "Do you agree that coming to the gym is not about talking to girls?" I was like, "Yo, this is wild." Like, cats really gave up, and they in the gym getting good physiques, but not howling to no at all in the process of it. You know, I'm starting to say I'm starting to look at this like, man, I wonder where you feel like incentive is in terms of for the average man, and how America has like kind of constructed itself around this feminine matriarchy way, and even like in the sense of like how the digital space has affected it. You know, gambling, you can do it online. You ain't gotta go to the casino no.
The West has reorganized itself in a way that's extremely destructive. And so you mentioned something that is a microcosm. Grown men thinking it's weird that grown men are talking to women. That's gay. But what it is a symptom of are bigger things being like moving in the society. So when you have empowered that part of the human pairing, the woman that should not be empowered, and you've empowered her in a way that puts her in an unnatural position and leaves her confused and unguided, and in her confusion she tries to emulate the man rather than follow the man. She emulates the man. What do? We work. So now they call themselves a career woman. What takes time for us? Well, to accumulate, to get power, and they're seeking power. So they're going to become a doctor, and then by the time they're ready to get married and have kids, they're too old. That's why we hear so much more about freezing your eggs as though that's like natural or normal. That's right? Crazy. It's insane. It's vile. But what happens is they're either having no kids, they're having fewer kids. So you have a declining birth rate, and we see declining population across the West. But it's mostly going to occur in the upper class and the middle class. Those are who are intellectually capable. But the lower classes, they just keep going. And the irony is that while the upper and middle class say that they can't afford to have kids, or they don't have time to have kids, they're using their time and their money to let the lowest classes afford to have kids. Isn't that ironic? Yeah.
I actually know this place. I don't know a place. I actually learned about this place in Africa. I forgot which part of Africa it was, but it was a part that where the poor you are, the more poor you are, the more kids they had. And the reason behind that logic is because the more kids they had, the more help they had around to survive and to mentor. And it's the whole structure behind it. But Do y'all think that's like weird that the more kids that you guys have, you should be more rich, or you think that it's a good logic for the more poor the more poor you are, the more kids you should have. You know what I'm saying? I actually think it makes sense. You know, me personally, I think it makes sense. You know, what y'all think?
Yes. So you'd be better off maybe just being poorer and having kids? Who knows? But one thing I'll tell you for sure that doesn't make a damn bit of sense is the idea that you should toil all your life, be a good person, and still feel like you don't have the time, you don't have the capital to procreate, to give your mother grandchildren, to continue your lineage. That's strange. I was just looking at and women make the weirdest excuses because we're so brainwashed in this society, which is very unhealthy and increasingly mentally unhealthy as women get influence.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You know, actually, today I was actually at the supermarket today, and I met it was like this girl that works there at the supermarket, and we talked a couple times, and we built a little rapport. And I felt like she was attractive, and I thought, well, I had a shot at her. You know, I did. I thought based off our conversations that we have interacted with each other, that we have built a rapport to where I could go for it. You know what I'm saying? So today I had went for it or whatever, and I had shot my shot. You know what I mean? And she was telling me how she basically doesn't she doesn't give out her number, and I'm like, why wouldn't you give me I was like, okay, that's cool, but why? And I was just curious, like, how come you don't do that? And she was like, oh, because I'm focused on my career. I'm in the military. um I'm actually about to draft off or whatever. I'm like, that's cool, I understand. So what happens after you get drafted in your career, you're established into your career? What then happens after that? She was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I said, are you gonna prioritize family after that or whatever, or you just gonna keep working? And she's like, work. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter if you have your own business. If you're set, you're most likely going to be working majority of your life. What then comes after your career? What other values? And she said she doesn't know. And she doesn't even know if she wants kids. And she doesn't even know if she wants to be in a relationship. And, and I'm just like puzzled, like how everyone has given up on love, and how a lot of women have given up on love, and it's like, and to blame it on men, you know what I mean? But I wonder if women will open their minds up to the idea of how they have been manipulated, or if they would have a train of thought like, oh, are we programmed this way to think this way? Like, I wonder if women will unlock their mind, and men too, like, how can we get on the side to better humanity for each other, not for the betterment of government. You know what I mean?
Woman said, "Oh, we can't have kids like we used to. The food's no good now. The food's all poison." I said, "Do you really think that we have significantly worse food in America than we did time ago? Some things are." I was like, "But I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that black people were coming out of recent enslavement and had great nutrition." I just find it hard to believe that blacks came out of being actual slaves and they came out of being actual slaves when you were fed the worst parts of the foulest beast. Chitlins, hog maws, neck bones.
Ugh.
You still eat like a slave to this day. I was raised on this, call it soul food, when it really doesn't nourish anything, definitely not the soul. So you telling me that my grandmother raised on hog maws? That doesn't even sound good.
Yeah, I don't even know what hog mog is, man. Like, anybody know what hog mog is? If you know what hog mog is, comment down below. I don't even know if I ate that before in my life. I've heard of it. I've never eat that before. Chitlins, I've heard of it. I've smelt it before, but I personally haven't even looked at it personally, like, before. My grandmother have cooked it before, and of course that thing stinks. But I heard her prep it. I heard about her prepping it but I smelt it because and smelling it made you not want to watch the preparation. So I didn't even personally look at it. But I've never eaten these type of things. Maybe I have, but it's probably in my younger childhood. But who knows what a hog mog is and who eats these things? Hog mog, chitlins, neck bones. I don't eat none of those things, man.
I don't even know what a hog mog is. Does anyone actually know what a hog
I
mog
don't know what the hell that
Nigga, what is a hog mog?
What part is that?
Chitlins are pig guts. And they smell like actual shit. And you have to clean them just to cook them. So you telling me my grandma raised on chitlins had better nutrition than you? There's not a chance in hell, you stupid, that my old black ass grandmother, no, black as hell, my old black ass grandmother who dropped out of school in the 3rd grade, who literally picked cotton into adulthood, that you don't have better nutrition than her. I'll tell you the difference. You're over here like, oh, I can't have many kids as her because nutrition is different, the food's worse. No, she wasn't on drugs. She didn't get on birth control at 12 years old and ride that through for a decade, destroying her natural cycles and rhythms. Did you factor that in? She didn't use Midol to deal with her period. She just dealt with it because she's a woman. Did you factor that in?
Man, check this out, man. I mean, who else feels like me? Like, who else just feels like those are just freaking excuses? Like, I feel like it's not only women, just Americans today like to blame everything on everybody else. Oh, how about things used to be how it used to be? They didn't have it better than you had it. Actually, they had it worse than we have it. So they were more accountable towards the decisions making that they make. They had to make better decisions at the end of the day. Who else feels like, yo, we just make too many excuses and we just got to make better decisions? How about you learn about the history so that you not repeat the history, especially if it's negative? You know what I mean? Hold up. Give me a second. Hello? It's good. I'm gonna call you back. I'm doing a video.
She ain't used Tylenol every time she had a
Whoops.
hiccup. Did you factor that in? You're lying. Did you factor that in? She ain't used Tylenol every time she had a hiccup. Did you factor that in? You're lying to yourself. There's no way in hell slaves have better diets than you. So these hoes are lying, man. And a part of the lie is to protect their ego and their excuses.
Excuses.
Because what
Excuses. Ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of these excuses. And that's one thing I'm tired of, bro. Like that's what's coming on to all these women. I hate to put it all on women because it's not all the women, but we have to put the manipulation, call it where you see it, bro. Like women are being manipulated to think that they have to work, that they should not depend on a man. It's a good thing. It's your role to be helping each other. We help each other, man. Like at the end of the day, we're not the same or equal, but we balance out together. At the end of the day, like we balance each other out. Period. We depend on each other for different things because we have different strengths. Period.
they're finding is that they're less of a woman than their grandmother used to be.
You just have to make better decisions.
You good? Go ahead, buddy. Around, I might help you. Slow ass. Really thug it out here, boy. Now imagine if he had 5 sons. I'm talking about. You shouldn't have to lift the thing. Have 5 sons. Yeah, and we let these women get out of their position and they don't want to bear children. And just a little bit of game for you guys watching. If you ever with a chick and she's like, and you like really rocking with shorty, you know, you dating her, it's your girlfriend, it's your fiance, and she's talking about don't come in me. Maybe she's a whore, I don't know. Maybe she's a whore, maybe she's dating other dudes. But it's like, shorty, what's on your itinerary? Like, You grown enough to have sex. You're in a relationship with me. Like, why can't you have kids? I mean, it's something, and you should ask yourself, if you smashing her raw and she's saying don't come to me, you should be asking, why am I smashing her raw? You should probably be using a condom, because probably somebody else is smashing her raw. Because by the time she's willing to be smashed by you,
Ladies, why y'all say that? Why y'all say, why don't come inside me if you let a man go inside you raw? And I ain't gonna lie. And men, why do you go inside a woman raw that you wouldn't impregnate? And comment down below, like, why we both do that? Like, men, why would you go inside a woman that you wouldn't impregnate? And women, why would you let a man inside of you and tell him not to impregnate you? You guys probably shouldn't be together.
raw, she should be willing to have your kids. I'm gonna say that one more time. If she's willing to be smashed by you raw, she should be willing to have your kids. And you should be willing to impregnate her. And I don't want to hear any lies from anybody about I can't afford it. And came across the border yesterday in America. They ain't got green cards, blue cards, passport, driver's license, and they could afford it. Why you can't afford it? Like, we have to stop with the lies, man. I had a homie named Danny in my hood. His father literally speaks no English to this day. I don't know how you. That's damn near an accomplishment. Like, no, for real. If you can spend 40 years in a country, you still don't speak none of that, that's an accomplishment. You're like, your ass gotta try. But the balling though, he's like, I don't speak English, but I speak enough Spanish to organize a construction company. You heard me, and get paid. I know numbers in English to get paid. So if he can get paid, why you can't get paid? And also, you gotta stop letting these hoes lie to you. Hoes say the most ludicrous shit, and we act like it makes sense. Like, this would get me mad. Hoes say this. Now, this don't apply to me because I'm a super player. I'm talking to you humans. A hoe would say this, and this is hoe logic, so I got to give some pimp philosophy. A hoe would say this. A hoe would say, well, yeah, I'll let you have 2 girlfriends or 2 wives if you could afford it. Bitch, you mean if I could afford it? It should be cheaper for me. Because listen, you got a job and she got a job. Add it up. You don't know how to add? How does adding equal subtraction in your mind?
Oh, that's deep.
Right? We're wealthier together.
For sure.
Adding does not equal subtraction. So what they're actually telling you is that I'm just a form of a that you cannot currently afford.
Nice.
But if you had more
You there temporary, bro. You are there temporary. She doesn't respect you enough.
money, I would be a different woman to you. But I am in fact a prostitute, but you have to pay for me to do certain tricks. That's just a trick I ain't gonna pull out for you. But if you bag right, I do have the trick. I just ain't pulling it out. But I got it.
And they be trying to leverage that.
Yeah, that wraps it up, y'all. I mean, I thought that was an interesting logic on what he thought about women who prioritize careers and how, you know, how it could affect the society and how it has affected men in society. All these sassy ways, you know, all these things they like, these terms they like to use today, but it's all programming, yo. And at the end of the day, I wanted to react to this video because I want to bring another insightful look on a thought process of like, hey, you guys know that they don't want us together. The system does not want us together. Can you please work harder to keep us together? I respect family homes. I love nuclear families. I like interracial families. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as you make sure that your core values are aligned and families are together. I hope y'all like this video. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all. I'm out.